All right, welcome back to my block detection project. I wanted to take it one step further. Now that I have my computer control working and JMRI obviously, and also my remote desktop is working as well. Since I have all those components in place, I wanted to just see if I could become my own dispatcher, because a lot of the times nobody's here to dispatch for me. So I decided to just go out and get these little, monitors. They're cheap, and mount them so that I can see both panels, both my regular layout setup and my more official dispatcher setup, which by the way has not been, I haven't assigned the blocks yet, so that's why you don't see the detection happening like you do on this one. You can see this one's running very well. So the reason I did this was because if I'm going to become my own dispatcher, I'd like to see from any angle in the layout what's going on. So let's say I'm on this side of the layout, I can't really see what's going on the other side because of this, wall. Obviously, this is the peninsula. So it's nice that I can just peek over and see, oh, the train is right now in the shower, right behind me, and there's nothing on the other side right now. And there's another train, there's a second train about to enter the top of the peninsula, which is right there. So I know exactly what's going on at any time from either side. So I'll show you, I can see the angle from there, and then from this side of the layout as well. So it's very easy to just peek over and see what's going on. The other nice thing is that these monitors come right off. They just, all I gotta do is disconnect the HDMI cable and they just pop right off. So if I wanted to display the same thing in another room for a dispatcher that might be, here at the time, I could just pop them off, throw them on the other side, and then, use the remote desktop on the other side for that. So I got my train coming through right now. As you can see, we're at the industry area, which is going to be this area here. And you can see that it is displaying right now. As it goes through the crossovers, it's going to go into the next block, and then the following block. And then once it exits that last turnout right there, then it'll change over to the next long block there. So everything's working. I have my panel, both my BDL 168s working beautifully. It's all hooked up with power, and my PM42 is working. I showed all of this in the last few videos. These few cables for Locanet I just got to trim. Once I trim these, it'll look a little neater. But everything is good to go. So I have my computer. The old computer that I was using, I decided to just, actually this is even older, but it's working totally fine with JMRI, and all I need to run on it is JMRI. So it's actually just sitting there closed, and all the display is being projected up to there. The only thing is that this only has one HDMI out, so I had to go HDMI and then USB to HDMI. It's a converter here, but it's fine. I just have to adjust the left panel here because it's not filling up the entire screen. As you can see, the border is like not quite all the way out like this one. This one filled it up nice. So it's probably just a setting that I gotta adjust for that. The other nice thing that I did was I bought this little mouse. It's a USB remote mouse. I don't need a pad or anything, so I can put it anywhere on the layout, and I can still control the mouse from any surface. I could do it from here, I could do it from there, and anywhere. I could even do it on the wall, and it'll still work. So, I could just have this either in my pocket or just leave it here if I'm using the controller, if I'm using the computer rather, to control the turnouts. Now, here's what I'm really excited about. I had done that already, and when I finished, I was like, oh, well, wait a second, I do have web server. And the web server is part of JMRI. So what happens is, once you activate the web server, it allows you to connect through Wi-Fi throttle or Y-throttle any kind of device, like a phone or an iPad or anything like that. So I said, well, what if I had an iPad right here? Now, when I'm working on this side of the layout, instead of having to, like, let's say I want to, once this train clears here, I want to switch, you know, that turnout to allow the other train to go through. I'm just waiting for the train to go by. But what I could do is, not only can I switch it from here because it allows me to, but I could also zoom in to that particular area where I'm going to be working. So right now all I care about is that turnout. So I just zoomed in nice and tight, nice and close. And then all I do is basically hit that. And you can hear the tortoise machine change over. So the JMRI, sometimes it doesn't catch up right away because it all depends on the internet signal or the Wi-Fi signal, but you see it changed a little bit later, but it does eventually do it. So let me change it back. So we'll actually see it catch. There it is. So yeah, and so I can basically move this around any way I want. And I can even display the other panel if I want, but that's kind of useless for this situation. So any turnout on the layout, on the main line, I can switch from this iPad. The other cool thing is that I put a charger in the back and just ran the wire through and down to power. So it'll never go dead, which is what I was thinking about. I was like, if I put it up there, it might die, and then, you know, what's the point? And the other nice thing is that I could just basically take this out whenever I feel like it and use it for other reasons. So it's not permanent by any means. So then I said, oh, okay, well, that's cool, that works. But what if I'm on the other side? Now what? Am I gonna have to take this off and then put it on the other side? No, because I was given another iPad that was not being used, and I just threw it on this side. So, you know, the same thing. These little clips just hold it in place. They were super cheap, and they're you know, totally stable. And again, I could change anything from this side any way I want. So, you know, if I'm not seeing the other side of the layout, then all I have to do is just shift over. So, for example, this is the Y area, which is right here. If I want to switch any of those turnouts, all I got to do is hit it on this side. So yeah, so then basically I can change any turnout. Let me try one more time here. As you can see, the turnout here is thrown. And let me just close it right now by just tapping here. And there it is. And the nice thing is that it'll transfer all that information. It's not like it's just, you know, changing it here on this panel. You know, so we're looking at this turnout here. It's supposed to be closed. You look at it here, it's closed. And if you look at it here, it's closed. So, and obviously once I get this panel, you know, assigned, it'll show the same way, closed. So yeah, I'm excited about it because it's cool. I don't have to, like, what I found myself doing before was that I was like running around every time I wanted to switch a turnout, you know, especially when there was like a last minute thing. So this makes it so much better and so much easier and so much cleaner. I can visualize everything much faster, and then just, you know, route trains when I'm by myself, because it's hard when you know, when I'm by myself and I can't dispatch, you know, quickly. So before, if I didn't have the time to run over to the computer and switch it, I was switching it manually with the number of the turnout. So I put these little stickers, you know, to identify every turnout, so I know what number. I mean, I can still use that. That's not you know, canceled out now. I can still use that method, but it's a little bit slower because I have to go into that part of the Wi-Fi throttle and you know, type in the number and then switch it, and it's just it takes longer, much longer than just touching the screen exactly where you want it to switch. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. Obviously, there's still a mess everywhere because I'm still working on getting everything done. I'm very close to finishing these two BDLs. As you can see, there's only a few slots left. This one's virtually done. I think there's one block I haven't done yet. Well, it's not connected. I mean, I ran the wire, just didn't connect it yet. And then over here, there's just a few left. And then I bought the third one, which is right here waiting to be installed. And I also got the Aculights breakout board, which is amazing. And I highly recommend that. It's just so much easier to connect everything. So that's that. That's where we're at with the block detection project. So, you know, it's going to make things a little bit better for me to run and more interesting and just more fun in general. So let me just give you a quick little shot of the layout here, both ends. Got that, got this, and that's all. Technology is a beautiful thing. All right, I will see you on the next one.